that are joining us through the various live streaming platforms, who are still with the same committee members, Advocate Tole, Madam Maseti, Mr. Majola, and myself, Muzim Kize, chairing. We'll then consider the next batch of submissions. One is for AECI Property Services, then Amahlati Municipality by Lorraine Liburu. The AEC one is by Mr. Claude Mahlang, and then Litsemen Municipality by Lehuma Masike, and then Mahulu Municipality by Terisile Tanda, then Mukaga Municipality by Zwanga Ralufe, Pofana Municipality by Claude Mahlang, and Sunduzi Municipality by Tabo Shabalala, then Kandla Municipality by Avasei Ramuhulu, and then Solopile Municipality by Terisile Tanda, and Mkanyawute Municipality by Mr. Claude Mahlang. We'll move in that, and I must say to the presenters, please note that sufficient guidance has been provided to you. Certain things have already been established, so just zoom into the areas that you want to highlight, taking this as read, so that you can be able to deal with things expeditiously and be on time. With that, let me then hand over to you, Mr. Kolile Mahlangu, to present the AECI Property Services submission. You've got your 4 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. AECI is a private distributor situated in KwaZulu-Natal province. It purchases electricity from eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality. However, it has its own set of tariffs, even though it shares the same set of tariffs with eThekwini. I would like to highlight, Chair, that for enhancements which members might pick up in the submissions, they will be enhanced before publishing, subject to the members' approval. So in terms of the salient features, Chair, these private distributors' financial and operational performance indicators are positive, as evidenced by surplus and the energy losses, which are below the NESA threshold or benchmark. And for this reason, a revenue analysis was not performed. If we zoom into Table 4 on P19 of P21 in the RFD, it reflects in the outcome of the CO study that certain customer categories require upward adjustments, while others warrant a decrease. A comparison between the cost of supply and the revenue generated by tariff category highlights the extent of this over or under recovery within each category. In terms of public consultation, Chair, both the municipality and NESA undertook public consultation, and there were no comments or objections received from stakeholders. I'd like to take you, Chair, and the members to the recommendation section. So in order to achieve full cost reflectivity, the private distributor was required to implement standard average tariff increases of 9.50 across the different customer categories, and the licensee adopted this uniform tariff increase of 9.50 across all customer categories. NESA's analysis concurred with this licensee's COS study outcome and the licensee's proposed tariff increase by 9.50 across different customer categories. I would like, therefore, to recommend RSC request RSC to recommend the tariffs that are detailed in the tariff decision section of the RFD for implementation by the licensee with effect from 1 July 2026, subject to the conditions detailed in paragraph 2 on P3 of P21 of the RFD. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahlangu, and Ian and the team. If you can just look at also the chat there. Members, any questions, comments, guidance to Mr. Mahlangu and the team? Noting that you've got this, the customer base being manufacturing or industrial and on-use. I don't see any hands. Members, may you please just raise your hands if you support the recommendation as presented, subject to the other enhancements that we have already talked to. Thank you very much, Mr. Machola, Madam Maseti, Advocate Chole. I also support this recommendation. This then takes us to the next presentation. Over to you, ma'am.
I would also like to take this one to the last batch, as I'm still working on the shared cost breakdown. The shared cost.
Person, I think it's fine. You're muted on this, and I think we have agreed that where the team members feel they need to do some work, they must tell us, and then we skip it and we go to the next one. So I think that's what Ms. Liburu is trying to say to you, or to request the committee rather, to consider your request.
Okay, so that we can be able to move with speed. Is there any other that would prefer to be skipped of this? So they don't even worry ourselves. Okay, I don't think there's another one. Let's move then to Letsemeng Local Municipality. Mr. Ralufe, over to you. You've got your 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. Letsemeng Local Municipality is based in the Free State Province, and it has applied through an existing COS, and it indicated that it consulted, but no comments were received from customers as well as from NERSA. We got no comments. In terms of performance, Chairperson, the Letsemeng is experiencing increases on deficits. In 2023-24, Letsemeng experienced a deficit of 64.66%, and then in 24-25, it experienced a deficit of 98.77%. And this deficit, Chairperson, are mainly due to ESCOM interest. The municipality is owing ESCOM about 28.4 million rands. And that is where it stands. And in terms of losses, Chairperson, Letsemeng Local Municipality recorded losses of 12.03% in 23-24, and in 24-25, it recorded losses of 14.93%, and of which on the foregone revenue in 23-24, the 12% in 23-24 resulted into a foregone revenue of 5.2 million. And in 24-25, it resulted into a foregone revenue of 6.8 million. And then, Chairperson, Letsemeng budgeted for a revenue requirement or revenue allowance of 85.3 million. And due to the inefficiencies identified, mainly ESCOM debt of 15.2 million, and then it was reduced. And Chairperson, in assessing this cost, we realized that Letsemeng Local Municipality's revenue was highly dependent on the ESCOM debt, of which when NERSA did the adjustments, it got to 7.5 million, Chairperson. And by that, Chairperson, okay, and then the expenditure was also adjusted in line with the ESCOM debt of 15.2 million, and then the surplus was also adjusted, Chairperson. And sorry, I forgot to mention that in assessing the operational expenses, there's a depreciation of 2.7 million, which was verified, and as per the report, it indicated that the municipality uses a straight line method in that regards. So, Chairperson, Litsimeng's cost breakdown as per on the increase after elimination of the ESCOM interest, it got below bulk purchases, and the municipality is already struggling. We therefore recommend that, Chairperson, the municipality be granted an increase of 9.01, which is at the level of ERSA, in order to service the bulk purchases. Chairperson, I would like to usher you to the recommendations, which reads as follows: that we recommend that the tariffs that are on the cost of supply report are approved as recommended in the tariff analysis section for implementation by the municipality with effect from the 1st of July 2026, and the cost of supply report submitted by the municipality be noted. Thirdly, the municipality is required to submit the report accounting for all the costs that have been noted in the cost of supply study to enable the regulator to perform its independent verification or audit process by 2026-27 financial year. And lastly, Chairperson, number 4, that the municipality is required to submit quarterly smart efficiency measures, including energy losses reduction progress report for the regulator to monitor the implementation in the 26-27 financial year. Let me stop the Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ralufe. Any questions, comments, members? Guidance? I don't see any hands. Oh, here's a hand by Madam CEO and then Madam Masek.
And thanks to Dr. Ralufe. Chair, mine is just for enhancement such that any reader that takes this out of these, they can understand. I think you have emphasized this point, but I just want to emphasize it as well. Again, when you look at that revenue table, where we have the calculation at the end, let me just take my glasses off, where we say the increase required is 19.22%. And then in terms of analysis, we came to 4.11. And there is no paragraph explaining this in line with the 9.1 that is being recommended in terms of the tariff analysis. So that text needs to be really itemized in the RFDs and be explained for a reader to understand, so that there is no confusion, because it tends to confuse if there is no line explanation that simplifies it in terms of how I have indicated it, because the 19.22 in my understanding, it's what's coming from the municipality, and the 4.11, it's what we have done in terms of the analysis. But how does this relate to the actual recommended tariff application? It's just not clear in the text. So my request is that for enhancements, let's just factor it in, as you have said in previous application. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam CEO. Over to you, Madam Maseti.
Thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity. Chairperson, I would like to start off with the increase that is mentioned on paragraph 1.4. That increase for this year is set, or the municipality applied for 13.4%. We are giving them 9%. If we can just be so that we are certain on the amount of the total amount of the adjustment that has been made for this municipality. I see at least those adjustments with the other tables that you have done, Mr. Ralufe. You should have shown it here so that we can see from this table 3 and table 4, where we do the sensitivity analysis. And then we must also show then what, if you can assist with showing us the amount that you have considered to adjust it downwards, so that the municipality must share on the risk not transfer the risk to customers, especially because we are seeing the deficit of 98.7, which is a deterioration from 64.6. That is, it tells us that the situation is worsening. And as it is worsening is due to these technical and non-technical losses, and inefficient network infrastructure, illegal connections and bypassing meters, billing inaccuracies, all of the things, faulty meters, all of these things are within the, most of them within the municipal control. So that all of that is under 2.3. I think that table that you had before, which was it yesterday or whatever, Friday, it was useful where you showed all of this risk, but you've mentioned them anyway, which is appreciated. So these demonstrate inefficiencies. So it means that you need to then adjust downwards, but you are not reflecting that downward adjustment amount. Can you please show that adjustment amount? At some stage, others were capping it to 12% to say, at least when situation is like this, that's the 12%. How much in this case have you considered as an adjustment based on those inefficiencies? That's the first thing, Chair. Then the second one, which is linked to this, where we now need to balance, is when we go to the surplus, so that you can look at a situation where the municipality is operating at 98, almost 99% deficit. Now, yet that municipality also needs a surplus. I can see that surplus, but I'm not seeing as to what percentage of that amount, right? What percentage does this represent in terms of the total cost required by this municipality after you have not after, but maybe after you've adjusted the revenue that is required? Can you tell us what percentage is that surplus, and why that surplus will be something that is meant to manage the risk? Because that's what we need to deal with. What is it for, and what risk it is meant to deal with, to manage? And I can't see Chairperson properly here. It's a challenge, but I can see that there is an adjustment that has been made. It's about 16. Sure. 16, I think is 16.3, 16.3.
16.39.
Yes. 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 Thank you very much, Chairperson. You will see that, firstly, and I don't know, maybe you can assist. There is now a commission expense. Why must I think there are those red things. I don't know what they mean. You can explain. But there are other items such as these expenses of a commission expense. And then we also have other expenses. Why must we? What is these other expenses? Why don't we just remove those other expenses if they don't have a specific need as to what are they for? And then there's also fleet costs. Are those things not supposed to be have already been dealt with under the normal expenses that the municipality must incur? That's what I wanted to find out. Yeah. So if I can be clarified on that, Chairperson, I will appreciate it. There's a lot of things that are here now. So at some point, I think we need to deal with what are the typical costs that are incurred by the municipality at an operational level. I think we need some cost unbundling at some point, and understand also, what are the cost drivers, what are the sort of the typical costs that make up those that are influenced by this, or what influences those costs, so that we we deal with, yeah. Chair, I'm looking at the other aspect here. Can you see that under salaries and allowance, that there is no amount that is put there, which we really need to deal at some point with the cost of supply study for this municipality. It's just not okay. There's actually nothing under salaries and allowances again there.
Just
And then-
read carefully there. Just read carefully. There is salaries is the one maybe payment to consultant that is blank on mine.
Oh, mine is actually blank. It's on page, this is table 5, Chair, on page 57. Am I on the right page? On page 57, on table 5.
It's page 15 of 20, the black one. That's what I have. Page 57 of 230, the green one.
Yes, that's the one, Chair, that I'm reading from. 57 of 230 is table 5. I'm on that one, Chair. And what I'm saying is that on expenses that are supposed to be typical expenses, salaries and allowances, it's actually blank from my side, Chair. It's got a red thing. And then
But it's fine. I don't want to be like a doubt, but I'm saying that on mine is 1.9 million, 1.9 million, and 2.17 million. That is recommended. And then the figure below that talks to payment to consultant operational work, that is at 0 and being colored red, that is not applicable.
Okay. All right, Chairperson. But besides, anyway, there's double of those things. They're duplicated. Because if you look under the one that maybe you're not, is the one that you're probably not looking at, it's got salaries and allowances. There's nothing. Materials and supplies. Yes, there's a figure of 4.5. Then there's contracted, there's nothing. Then we get to salaries, wages, allowance, excluding repairs and maintenance. Then there is an amount there, but that amount, again, I don't think that is sufficient, which is the same situation. It's about 2.1 million. So you can't have the staff for this, or the municipality that will only cost the municipality that amount. So it takes us back. So I don't know whether, and then there's consultants. So I don't know how they pay their staff, where I can actually find that. So that's the issue that I'm talking about, Chair, because you only have adjusted 2 million when it comes to that. And then it gets to those charges from other departments. Again, you don't get anything. There's something wrong here, Chairperson. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Because now where do we recover for even those expenses that are incurred on the on capital and all of that? And then, yeah. So those are the issues, if I can be clarified.
Thank you very much. I note, Mr. Rufa, that in terms of the presentation, the table 3, the energy losses are relatively at below the cutoff point, just slightly above the cutoff point now. But I take it that there are other elements that are there which we should emphasize and not find ourselves hung up with the energy losses, to emphasize it to the extent of ignoring the other expenses. And I appreciate how you have expanded on table 5. I would rather have many of these than have a few, but please just explain the red cells, and then be able to talk to these figures in terms of how the cost elements have been allocated. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Firstly, let me appreciate guidance by the CEO. I understand CEO, and I'm sorry it skipped my mind. That paragraph should have been enhanced for the request of 9.01%, at least for bulk purchases. Ms. Masedi has asked a number of questions, but I'll try to deal with them. She asked about sensitivity downwards. I believe that was that was a guidance, and also the cost and unbundling. Yes, that can be done, Ms. Masedi, and also looking into the COS. And then what we did, we had for 24-25, we had the figures in a form of a deform, but for 25-26, we had to rely on the data which the municipality sent us, because since there's a 2 months to come, it means it will be actual plus projections. However, in terms of the red lines that you see, it's the data which the Munics have sent to us, even with the deform that we show, and that is audited, and that is reflecting on the financial statements. All these empty lines were not filled, and maybe something that one can bring to the attention of members is even the size of the municipalities and the activities in which they embark on, or rather their operations. So some of the lines are not applicable, and somehow if we can cut them out here, Chairperson, I don't know to which extent it will satisfy the members in terms of a uniform sort of a table, but
in the interest of time, sir, we are saying these are not applicable, and we continue. We better, I've already said, we better have more of this and indicate not applicable. So the red line is not applicable. Proceed to the next response, please.
Okay, no, sure. Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. In terms of the increase, Ms. Masedi, yes, the municipality submitted an increase, an application of 13.4% increase, but in terms of the costs that they've provided to us, it doesn't amount to that, even compared to the previous one. And like I said initially, in the operating expenses, they include ESCOM interest, or rather ESCOM debt interest, which was somehow a significant amount into their OPEX, and now having to apply a methodology, or rather what we have to do as a regulator, not to pass through the cost, then it brings this significant difference into the OPEX. Chairperson, I don't know if I've sufficiently covered what have been said, but I'm here to take further announcements. Thanks.
Thanks. I think let's try to be economic with time. For example, in terms of responding to the issue, to say we have excluded the interest on ESCOM debt and move on just like that, please. We'll note the responses. Members, are you covered? Okay, by show of hands, if you support the recommendation, please. Thank you, Madam Maseti. Thank you.
No, Chairperson, Chairperson, I was coming in when you said, are you covered? I raised my hand.
Okay, quickly talk to the matter, ma'am.
The issue that I want to talk to is the issue of staff. I'm bothered by the fact that I can't see, I mean, that figure of 1.9 or 2.1 million, clearly it cannot be the staff of the municipality. And then I look over to just check maybe from some shared cost to see if maybe it is maybe embedded there for some reason. But if you look at that figure again, it's not sufficient. Then the question remains, how are staff salaries being paid by this municipality for this municipality to perform? And that for me is a major issue. And then maybe for improvement, if he can just demonstrate, the adjustment that I spoke about, given the fact that the deficit is so huge. So he does need to show that after having done the sensitivity analysis, but there must be an adjustment. And others said we kept it at 12% allowance. So again, this shows that the cost of supply study, it is simply not proper. Yes, we can have all of this cost and whatnot and let them do this, but there's more that needs to be done, and the cost of supply is not helpful in ensuring that we allow for what we need to allow. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Alufe, just confirm if these are the figures that came from the municipality, interpreted them, because there is a subsequent verification and auditing process that should follow after this, which will then deal with the matter. And you alluded to the size of the municipality. Just respond quickly, and then I can go back to Madam. Or rather,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, Chairperson, we received a spreadsheet from the municipality, and the figures are coming from the municipality, Chairperson. And in terms of the losses, I don't know if I'll be addressing you properly, Ms. Masedi. On the issue of balance of technical and non-technical losses, the eliminations and the allowance are stated up there. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Stolle? Madam
Chairperson, I think Mr. Olufe has answered the point. I do not want to sound as if I'm responding on behalf of the team. I think in our previous application, we did pick up in the revenue table that there were 2 line items relating to salaries, allowances, and salaries, wages, and allowances. And we had said to the team, they must go and verify that, because it appears as if it's a double counting in terms of those 2 items. So I took it that the first one that he has got 00 was to just try and address that in the absence of really having to update the table. And therefore, then the corrected figures is now covered under 1 line item that is there. And I think he has confirmed this, Chair. That's what I wanted to say, that what he has done, it's based on the guidance that we did in the one, asked the team to do in our last sitting. Thank you.
Thank you. We've settled on the issue of standardization of the tables and being able to clean it up. Even the issues of percentages, that they were going to include percentages. As you can see that in some of the tables, we don't have the percentages being reflected. Having said that, members, by show of hands, if you do support the recommendation, with those amendments or enhancements. Thank you, Madam Stolle, Mr. Majola, and Madam Maseti. Thank you very much. I also support. Let's then move on to Metsimahulu local municipality to be presented by Madam Delisile Tanda. Over to you, ma'am. You've got your 4 minutes. If you can do faster than that, we'll highly appreciate.
Good afternoon, Chair, members and colleagues. Metsimahulu is situated in the Free State Province. Based on the consultation, NERSA published Metsimahulu tariff application and no comments were received. Municipality on their side undertook public consultation and with their customers and no objection or comment received, and the tariff were approved by the council. The municipality is applying for a 9% across all the municipality customer category. The financial and the performance of the municipality is partly satisfactory, as evident of the increase in the surplus of 2023-24 of 1% to 12.8 in the 2024-25 financial year. The energy loss is still a concern, as a decrease is low from 15% in the 2023-24 to 14.54, of which the decrease is 0.06%. The foregone revenue, if the energy loss were within the 12%, the surplus was going to be 24% and the foregone revenue of 86 million. If the energy loss was kept at 6%, the surplus was going to be 25% and the foregone revenue of 92 million. The municipality submitted their energy loss report and it attributes the energy loss to be the illegal consumption and the meter tampering. NERSA will continue to monitor the progress of the submitted reduction loss report. Of the bulk purchase, the municipality submitted the cost of adjustment and the municipality bulk purchase of requesting the 513.4 million, which was verified against ESCOM bulk purchase, trial balance, and the audited financial statement of 2024-25 financial year. The municipality ESCOM account is up to date. However, the municipality have NMD accident penalty of 11 million, which was not taken into account in calculating the bulk purchase for 2026-27 projection. This was verified in the table 4 of the revenue requirement in line with the Act, which require only prudently and efficiently incur costs to be passed through customers. Municipality has confirmed that they have applied to ESCOM to increase their notified maximum demand. With regard to the surplus, the municipality applied for the 58 million, translating into a 9% that exclude the NMD penalties of 11.8 million to ensure that the profit margin are not overstated, aligned to the risk and compliant with electricity pricing policy position 1, and the cost of supply framework verification was undertaken. Although the return proposed by the municipality fall below the established target range of 10 to 20%, it is considered reasonable. The risk consideration incorporated the qualitative revenue collection rate of 86%. The bad debt were allowed of 298,881, which account to 0.14% of the projected sales of 2026 to 27 financial year. The all share costs were ring-fenced and strictly allocated to the electricity distribution function. Using the deformed cost allocation considered with the cost of supply requirement verified against trial balance and audited financial statement. The cross-subsidization, as guided by the members before, the municipality will be advised to develop a cross-subsidization framework that is fair and transparent. However, the industrial and commercial, based on the report and the deform and the cost of adjustment and the submitted cost of supply, mostly the industrial and commercial customers are subsidizing the domestic customers. I therefore read the recommendation as follows. The tariff that are based on the cost of supply report are approved as recommended in the tariff analysis section for implementation by the municipality with effect from 1st of July 2026. The cost of supply report submitted by the municipality be noted. The municipality is required to submit a report accounting for all the costs that have been noted in the cost of supply study to enable the regulator to perform its independent verification by the 31st of January 2027. And lastly, the municipality is required to submit on a quarterly basis the smart energy loss reduction progress report for the regulator to monitor implementation thereof by 30 September 2026. I thank you.
Thanks. I take it that you also include the last bullet as well as the enhancement that we have spoken to in all the previous submissions, and you'd enhance the paragraph 6 on public participation to talk to the public participation that Metsimaholo local municipality undertook in holistically. All right, with that, members, any questions, comments, guidance? By show of hands, please. Madam Aseti.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'll go straight to the table that we need to scrutinize for decision. If we look at the operational expenses, starting off with the salaries, you will see that there are two items under salaries. Salaries and allowance, and then on the fourth row, you also again get salaries, wages, allowance, excluding repairs. So they tell you that these are things that are paid to employees. If you look at that amount, it is duplicated, Chair, and it's exactly the same amount. So you get it on the first row, salaries, it's about, total is about 6.6 million. And then you go to that line item row 4, you find exactly the same figure. So that for me is problematic. It needs to be removed. Now, Chairperson, I see that also in terms of the, just looking at looking at my notes. Now, we go to the surplus. I noticed that the way that the surplus is being applied here, with colleagues simply take, and maybe it can be clarified how it was calculated here, because the staff members simply take the 10% of it as the base at the minimum there, and simply apply it onto the model, without necessarily looking at what informs this. And that I find it problematic, especially because this is a contentious issue, and also from our side it will make it difficult to provide reasonableness of this amount of 58 million that we must add as a surplus. I do take an issue with that, and I think that we need to adjust in that regard. And then if you, that is the second big issue for me, Chair. And then if we then look up, so on page 77, paragraph 5.5, we've got a figure of sure, is it, are you correct there? 574 billion. Is that the amount, or you have the figures wrong, the way that you have done it? Because you've got all of the million, the 574.
I think, sorry to interject. When it comes to those millions, yesterday we landed on removing and writing it as a full number because it causes confusion. May proceed.
Yeah, if you can strike out that million, then if you want to remain with the figure as is there. Just strike out the million there, because obviously we need to balance when one comes from the table and look at the figures there. So if we can then remove the million, so that is not a billion. But again, that figure there, is it the revenue for 2026-27, meaning financial year 27? Or is it the 1 year last year, 25-26? Because then you don't have the 2026 and all of that, which is the one that you need to speak to. And I think maybe it's a mistake, because it is supposed to speak to that revenue required. But you put 2025 instead of 2026-27. Then please, can you, because I was now unable, when you look at the budgeted cost and the surplus there, 5.7, paragraph 5.7, you are talking about total budgeted revenue required amount is R million, and there is no amount at all that you have put there. If you can kindly do that, and then please deal with the table that helps us with the decision. You need to do those adjustments so that we know exactly what figure are we left with at the end of the day, for us to see whether there is still an adjustment on that tariff. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I hope you observe the time, please. The timer is for us all to see, please. And then when it comes to the comments, just on my side, you under 3.5, you clearly indicated the figure to be for 25-26, but then the figure, as already said by Madam Maseti, is not indicated for 26-27 in the last line of 5.7. The figure that is duplicated in salaries is got a material impact, because if you add those numbers, they add to that 63 million. And please, can you just explain that part especially? And if you don't have an explanation, you want time, just come out very clear so you can be able to proceed with other applications. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. The figure for the salaries, the form submitted by the municipality, they don't keep the labor hours, so they have do their standard practice of the salaries being split into two. The one for the employees that do the real maintenance. So they split those manpower hours to be 50-50. The other one is for a normal salaries, and then the other one they split it for those technician or engineers that are involved in the maintenance side. Hence, there's 50-50. The one is for maintenance, salaries for maintenance. The other one is the normal salaries. And then for the surplus and the millions, I will enhance the RFD as per the members' advice. Thank you.
Ma'am, I think if you look at it, it becomes a clear duplication. Yes, you are right when you're saying it's 50-50, but please, those things are clearing. You should be upfront in terms of explaining them. And I'm appealing to all the others to do the same. Having heard those responses, Madam Maseti, are you covered?
If you can tell us, Chairperson, what then is the amount after the adjustment. That's what is important for us to take the decision. Thank you, Chair. I didn't hear that.
The amount of the adjustment. Over to Madam Tanda, please.
Can I ask Mr. Ralufe to assist me?
Mr. Ralufe?
Thank you, Chairperson. I was already in my presentation. Mr. Mkize.
Maybe let's be clear here. Madam Maseti, is adjustment of what? So to get clear?
Yeah.
To assist the team?
Chairperson, I have pointed out from the general and other, right? So you will see that it will give us a total amount of 63.7 million, right? And that total amount is made up of salaries and allowance from first row. Then go to the fourth row, you have the same item of salaries, wages, allowance, excluding repairs and maintenance. And I'm saying to you, the figure is the same, which is 16.6 million. So what I'm saying is that shows duplication, and that duplication will therefore be included in that 63.7 million.
Okay.
So you need to make that adjustment, and also the other adjustment that I mentioned that needs to be considered is on that huge amount of 58 million. And I'm saying that they simply plug in the 10% without telling us what is that surplus for, and plug it into the model without telling us what it is, yet we are required to look at the risk. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Maybe you will also assist in terms of the model. Is it is this the product or it's an input, the surplus? Because my understanding was that the surplus becomes an output instead of an input. So it talks to what was fed in there that will result in that kind of a surplus also. But it's for the team to respond. And the response was already given with regard to the salaries, to say that the salaries are split into two. One is for normal salaries for people, and the other one is for the operation staff maintenance. And what is required is to properly qualify that. Hence, I said to Madam Tanda, you should speak upfront because this is clearing. And I said that the split is based on hours and made to be 50-50. Hence, the figures are exactly the same, a duplication of the other. So that was the response. And I was expecting maybe that if you've got any, you are covered in terms of that explanation, or there are some other challenges in that regard. But Mr. Ralufe or Madam Tanda, if you can just talk to those things quickly.
Thanks, Mr. Mkhize. I believe in terms of the salaries issue, it may be right, and Ms. Tanda has already explained, and the 2024-25 figures are audited, and we believe the auditors have verified them. And in terms of the surplus, yes, I see it's a 10% of OPEX before surplus. And as for the risks, I'm just afraid of speaking under speculation, but I believe Ms. Tanda can enhance on the calculation. But I see a 10% of the OPEX before surplus. But municipalities do consider the risks that are likely to arise along the way of operations in determining that. But Ms. Tanda can actually enhance on that. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Madam Tanda. I think please note people when I raise my hand. Over to you, Madam Tanda. My understanding is that we also have said you are going to further do verification and auditing on these figures and ensure that they are prudently and efficiently utilize the funds that are accrued to the municipality and ring-fenced as part of our regulatory mandate. Over to you, ma'am. In 1 minute, less than 1 minute.
Okay. Okay. As I mentioned, I did say that the surplus, the risk for consideration was taken into account the revenue collection rate of municipality, which was 86%, and they allow and we did allow the bad debts in this situation because it's when calculating the bad debt versus the sales for 2026-27, the projected sales for 2026-27 financial year, it's only a 0.14%. So I did make the verification and try to do the risk assessment, and these are the bad debts and the revenue collection.
In our explanation, please just don't create other questions that will remain unanswered. The bad debts research we're keeping them at 5%. So this is at the efficient level, not just any bad debt. And I take it that these are the risks that are associated with the business. So having said that, I would just want us to move towards voting on this one. And apologies for the background noise. Some of the things you cannot control. Having said that, members, by show of hands, if you support the recommendation with those amendments or enhancements. I note Madam Stole, Mr. Machola, Madam Massetti.
Chairperson, I will dissent on this one because I think the extraction on two grounds, the extraction of the double items, even if it can be argued is on the cost of supply itself, I doubt exact amounts. I'm not comfortable about that. And also to simply plug the 10% without any reasons for this municipality, which gives us 58 million. It is on those grounds. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. All right, I'll move on then to support, taking cognizance that the numbers that are duplicated, the presenters have alluded that they've been audited because of the split that they have based on hours, which is 50-50, and that we've got this as a product of the formula, and they would take precautionary steps to ensure that there is a prudent and efficient utilization of funds. And again, I must stress, post-decision auditing and verification cannot be overemphasized. Thank you then. This then dispenses of this item. We move to Mukaka. And I think it's Mr. Ralufe again.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mukaka local municipality is based in Free State, and it sent a cost adjustment tool to NERSA. When it comes to consultation, the municipality indicated that it consulted, and NERSA as well as consulted as of the 31st of March when the application came until the 21st. And then Kaka is saving 26,164 customers, and with 10,650 indigents, that composes 45% of its customer base. And when it comes to performance, the municipality is actually performing at a deficit of 4.25% in 2023-24, and then in 2024-25 it recorded an increased deficit of minus 29.31%, and this deficit, Chairperson, is mainly due to the ESCOM interest on ESCOM debt of 98.1 million in 2024-25, sorry. So that is the main cause of the increasing deficit. So, Chairperson, when it comes to losses, the municipality losses have increased from 29.4 to 32.5, of which these losses were also one of the attributions to the poor performance, or rather to the increasing deficit up there. So these losses, Chairperson, are resulting the municipality in a foregone revenue loss of 193.6 million in 2023-24, and in 2024-25 at 32%. Consequently, the municipality lost 243.8 million. And the municipality will be engaged, Chairperson, to cap these losses so that they can regain these figures. Chairperson, when it comes to the cost breakdown structure, the municipality applied for 699.8 million of allowable revenue, and NERSA made adjustments of 9.2 million, which resulted to 690.6 million, and triggered an increase of 9.02 million. And then, Chairperson, the adjustments were made on the operating expenses, And the operating expenses include a depreciation amount of 32.7 million, which the records indicated that it was calculated using the straight line method. And then Chairperson, also on the operating expenses, free basic electricity free basic electricity amounting to 2.5 million were also eliminated or rather adjusted, and the surplus was also adjusted, Chairperson, in line with the risk associated with this municipality. So the municipality, Chairperson, applied for 9.01%, and as a result, the cost adjustment tool reflected results of 9.02%. And then, Chairperson, we recommended the application or rather the tariff increase applied for to be implemented as such. And Chairperson, in conclusion, let me usher you to the recommendations. It is recommended that the tariff based on cost of supply report are approved as recommended in the tariff analysis section for implementation by the municipality with effect from the 1st of July 2026. And we also recommend that the cost of supply report submitted by the municipality be noted. Thirdly, we recommend that the municipality is required to submit a report. The municipality is required to submit a report accounting for all the costs that have been noted in its cost of supply study to enable the regulator to perform its independent verification or audit process by the 2026-27 financial year. And finally, we recommend that the municipality is required to submit a quarterly efficient measures, including the energy losses report that follows a SMART principle, and to also track progress for the regulator or during the monitoring of the implementation in the 2026 financial year. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Get well there and save yourself by maybe shortening a bit in terms of your presentation. Members, your comments, questions, guidance? Mr. Machola?
Thank you, Chair. Firstly, yes, thanks to Mr. Alufe for the presentation. And from my side, it's just maybe a request of some education. I've noticed your table there, revenue requirements, and it's very comprehensive. And I see there in your table, you've also indicated how much in terms of the surplus margin that you want or that you have allowed. As I said, in terms of education, if we can go to your paragraphs there, 4.18, 4.19, and 4.20 and 4.21, where you actually explain right at the beginning in 4.18, what do you mean by the surplus margin? And I can see there, you are probably quoting from that framework. You've got a figure there, a range of 10 to 20%. If you can explain that. And then on 2019, you also talk about operational risks. Sound like you are taking risks into account. Explain that in 419. And I say this for my own education. And then in 4.20, it says you are actually basing this on the Electricity Regulation Act, which says that an efficient, must enable an efficient licensee to recover the full costs of licensed activities. So relate that now, the full cost of licensed activities and a reasonable margin or return. how then that reasonable return relates to the surplus. So what I'm really saying is, yes, I've seen your table and seen what you are saying in terms of the actual numbers, but from 4.18 to 4.21, if you can just give me a little bit of education around those paragraphs, what it means. Thank you.
Thank you. Just 30 minutes within the time. Thanks there. Madam Massetti.
Thank you, Chairperson. The first one that I just want to start off with is on the reconciliation of two figures. Under the cost drivers on the table that we need to base our decision on, table 5, on revenue that is required, we've disallowed the non-technical losses, and the amount there is 136.2 million. Yet on the paragraph above, paragraph 4.7, we've mentioned 9.7 million, and that is based, you said it is purely based on surplus. I don't understand that 9.7 million. We need to just try and figure it to try and make sure that it features in here. In terms of that deficit that is encountered by the municipality. So what is 9.7 and where can we see, or where is it added, like, or subtracted here on this table, the 9.7. I don't also understand when we say that it is purely based on surplus factor, when we adjust for surplus factor. In other words, from the 700, million, revenue that is requested by the municipality, we deduct 9.7 million. Then we end up with 690 million. So we said that we then adjusted it down by that amount. Now we come to the specifics here on the table. Then what we did also here, we've got in terms of the total losses, technical and non-technical. So we disallowed an amount of 70.7 million non-technical losses. We've disallowed. We have again disallowed another number here of 136 million, again, non-technical losses. I really need to understand which ones and what exactly are those figures. If we can clarify that. And I see here, and I just want to put it on record, even if it's going to be said that these are different municipalities, but the fact remains that something like salaries, wages, you can't find it in two different cost lines. So I see, for instance, that figure of 43 million, which I suppose is fine in terms of salaries and wages, but we can just check for efficiencies later on. I take note of the fact that you did not repeat it, at least from your side. I'm sure you extracted the information properly, hence you did not repeat it here. But the consultants there, as we have a huge amount on salaries, but the consultants allowance, it's something that we must subject it to check if indeed they were consultants and whether they were doing what they were supposed to, or they were doing some work that they were contracted to do. Especially if we also have contracts that we need to allow for. Lastly, Chair, we go to the surplus. What informed that figure of 6.6 there instead of reducing further? Because that surplus amount is quite big. And again, is it a thumbsuck issue of simply plugging 10% on the model instead of raising it? What exactly informs that? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam CEO.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, I just wanted us to really, or rather, my point is a point of emphasis in relation to the line item relating to salaries, wages and allowances, because on this one now we are seeing a zero in terms of the line 4. I just want to appeal to the team or the presenters to say that let's make sure that the what we are capturing is correct, as opposed to duplication and not having clarity between the two first line and the fourth line. Chair, thank you. And if the presenter can confirm that the fourth one, it's a zero amount as stated there. Thank you.
Thank you. Timo may respond, taking cue regard that just go straight to the points to save us time. We need to be efficient.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. Maybe to start with the CEO's question, the issue about the salaries, Chairperson, or rather the data, we extracted it straight from the source, or rather from the spreadsheet or the data which the municipality sent us. And we have also confirmed with the DFORM, which our data team provides us with within NERSA. So, Chairperson.
So we note that if we can just simply qualify it when it comes to what we have here from our side, just that improvement, just simply qualify it. Sorry that you interject, but if you can just do it like that. And that applies to all of them, even the previous one. Continue, sir.
Mr. Mkhize, I don't get you when you refer to qualifying.
You've got the first salaries and allowance, second salaries, wages and allowances. All that you do, you just and explain. You can put an asterisk and say that what the first one deals with, what the second one deals with, separately. Like the same explanation that they gave in the previous one. Because we're not supposed to take things blindly. That is my understanding when we're dealing with our own frameworks and methodologies. You may proceed, sir.
Chairperson, may I come in on this one? Of course, I asked that question. The two.
Which one?
This specific one, Chairperson. It's me. I asked that question about the two line items, the cost item.
Oh, okay. No, because I was still going to respond to you in full, but come in so long.
Chairperson, I wanted to say that I am satisfied with his explanation. And in fact, I want to emphasize, because I'm the one who picked this up. I'm satisfied because we're not supposed to have two. If it's done in duplicate by the licensee, we're not supposed to have it in duplicate. So he has done it correctly, even if you look at the amount. So he did the double checking. He can't copy the wrong standard. That standard that has been put there is the wrong one. He can't copy that one. At least he provided something that is clear. Thank you.
Thank you. I think on this one, ma'am, it should just be clear here. We've got salaries and allowances, and of course, salaries, wages, and allowances. So either he strikes one and keep one, or he then qualifies the other. So this is clear what each one deals with. This is in essence what I'm trying to say. And the fact that the other one did explain that they are not the same, and I said if they are not the same, then indicate it. I think that is a simple thing that needs to be done in terms of standardization. They can just standardize either way from my side. Okay, continue, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Chairperson. I think even the data team still needs to enhance this in terms of maybe they can put something like employee benefits. There's even an accounting standard that actually speak to that to avoid that confusion. So thank you. In terms of the surplus, Chairperson, it is true in this regards. Seeing that the municipality losses are high, which is one of the risks, and the municipality is obliged to pay ESCOM, and the funds are not running properly. Chairperson, the municipality went for a 10% of its surplus But with those inefficiencies, Chairperson, we decided to reduce it to the 9%, and which was the risk. But we didn't want to take it down further, looking at the size of the municipality. We didn't want to take it further down to looking at the size of the municipality, bearing in mind that the municipality may likely need to embark on projects that needs the maintenance, and somehow they run out. That was somehow a provision, Chairperson. Thanks.
Thank you. And that 9.2 is actually the 9,176,462. You just reduce the decimal places there. That's my understanding on the total expenditure, including surpluses. I hope I'm right. That relates to the 4.7 paragraph. Okay, Madam, maybe going forward, let's do it like this. If you are not adequately covered, please just after they finish, just weigh in. And if you're covered, just put your thumbs up so that we can be able to save time between me asking you to come in and us proceeding. With that having been said, members, are you covered that we move to the voting? Okay, thanks. I see the thumbs up there, Madam Massetti, thumbs up, Advocate Tole. We're having said that, members, by show of hands, that you support the recommendation as read out. Thank you, Mr. Machiola. Thank you, Madam Massetti. Thank you, Advocate Tole. Much appreciated. Then it takes us to the one from Pofana by Toli Mahlamba.
Thank you, Kawazela. Pofana compiled its application in terms of the revised COS study. In terms of the bulk purchase, Pofana projected its bulk purchases for 26-27 FY using the 25-26 FY Eskom tariffs as a base and made the following assumptions: sales growth of 0% and a bulk purchase cost increase of 8.74% for the 26-27 FY, which is below Eskom's ERSA. Just to highlight the peculiar issues picked up from the analysis, Chair, is that the revenue collection risk with current correction levels of 42% reflects high exposure to non-payment, indigent levies and bad debts. The analysis also observed an operational risk which is driven or caused by the high energy losses, which are driven by the aging network infrastructure as a key operational risk. So the licensee has the potential to improve the deficit to 7.10% plus surplus if energy losses are limited to 12%. And further, the surplus could potentially increase to 12.14% if the energy losses are reduced to 6%. The COS study confirms the presence of cross-subsidization. Commercial customers are cross-subsidizing residential and municipal customer categories, which is prevalent with typical municipal tariff structures. Both the municipality and NESA undertook public consultation, and there were no comments or objections received from stakeholders. Before I move to the recommendation section, Chair, all the other enhancements in terms of the standardization of tables that members observe in the RFD, they will be incorporated in the RFD before it is published. Moving to the recommendation section, Chair, based on the revenue output of the COS model, a tariff increase of 12% is required by the municipality, and NESA's analysis recommended approval of tariffs by 12% across the different customer categories. I would like to therefore request RC to recommend the tariffs detailed in the tariff analysis section of the RFD for implementation by the municipality with effect from 1 July 2026, subject to the conditions detailed in paragraph 2 on page 3 of page 21 of the RFD. Thank you, Kabazela.
Thanks, Mahlang. I just want to say that, I noticed the previous submission on paragraph 4.18, page 101 of 200, the green stamped one, the issue of dealing with the surpluses. If we can, you can just, as a team, look at enhancing that paragraph for all the submissions, because I think it kind of captures the essence. It may be to varying degrees in terms of the elements or factors that will influence the surplus. Having said that, members, any questions, comments directed to the presenter? I don't see any hands. By show of reference, members, if you may indicate if you do support the recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Majola. Is it because we're tired, members, or what? I'm not that's what to get. I don't see any other hand. Oh, Advocate Tole, Madam Maseti. Thank you. And I also support.
Chairperson, apologies. I was disconnected. Sorry, please do note that I'm struggling, but I'll try and rejoin properly. Sorry.
Okay, no, thanks. We then proceed. I would like to get to the next one, but with your permission, noting the chat that was not written by Madam Masset, maybe I put it the one to follow at the end, the Msundu's one, and then we proceed with the others. I just would like to know if EM you find that we proceed with it or we skip it.
Yeah, Chair, we can deal with those together at the end. It's fine.
Okay, good. So we skip this one. We'll deal with those at the end where there are also legal issues to consider. We then move to the next one, Kandla, by Mr. Ramuhulu.
Chairperson, if I may, sorry, I can't raise my hand. It is a resubmission. If Mr. Ramuhulu can just focus on the issues that were raised that resulted in these particular applications being sent back. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. By now they should know that, please, I don't have to repeat over and over again those things. Please just zoom to the issues that were of particular attention.
Okay, no, good evening, Chair. The first question that I was asked was the issue of the free basic, and what I know that the municipality has got an arrangement with ESCOM to deal with the issue of the payment of the free basic. And then the other issue that I need to talk about that is that this municipality has got higher losses, but the municipality intend to minimize the losses, and the municipality has got depreciation, which is around 805,983, which is derived from asset base of 32 million. And they also spend on OPEX, and also they've got, at the time, they had an issue of the inefficiency, such as ESCOM debt. The municipality has informed us that they now settled the debt, and from the analysis that was conducted is that the municipality has got a potential to move from the debt to surplus, and if the municipality can increase the efficiency, they should be able to be in a better position to operate the electricity business. And the other issue, the municipality had consulted their customers, and also we didn't receive any comments from the stakeholders. And the municipality, they like to request that in terms of the results of the surplus cost supply study, they would like to request for the 12.9% increase so that they can be able to operate the business. I think, Chair, those are the main issues that I can say about the municipality. I submit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramuhulu. Members, any questions, comments, guidance to Mr. Ramuhulu and the team? I don't see any hands. Oh, now there's a hand from Madam Massetti. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and I appreciate the clarity that has been provided. But Chair, from my point of view, looking at the inefficiencies of this municipality and others that at least reduced and tried to absorb part of the risk, because looking at the customer profiles, the domestics and stuff, the 12.9 for me, I believe that it is quite high. That's the first thing. And also, it is important, given the energy losses and other inefficiencies, that we ought to have adjusted downwards, adjusted for purposes of those inefficiencies, so that we reduce the risk on customer, or the burden on customers. Because if you now look, for instance, the way that it performs, this municipality, Chair, the losses were sitting at 64%. They went up to 72%. That's quite huge. Same with the surplus that was below 20%. Sorry, the deficit that was below 20%. It went up to 51. That on its own, it shows the performance of this municipality, that it is struggling. And the analysis on table 4 confirms this. And in fact, if one were to then do that adjustment, just like other people have done the adjustment, look at that table. Even if you take it to 12%, yes, double digit, compared to other people that have done a single digit, that were at single digit, you will get something positive there. The municipality will start to operate, and it will also give an incentive to the municipality to improve, as opposed to keep taking from customers to try and fill such a huge deficit. I don't think that it is the way that we want to convey a message for purposes of efficiencies. So in my view, I would like to see an adjustment consistent with what we have done for all of the other municipalities, when they stated clearly, the team, that we are looking at the 12% cap as an allowance. That's how they phrased it, even though it's not necessarily, should not be necessarily allowance, but at least that's what they did for purposes of energy losses, Chair. Lastly, Chairperson, Lastly, 4.4.1.2. By now, this is something that we said early last week, that 21% operational expenditure accounts of 21%. What is that for? because we've got 70% for ESCOM, and then we're also talking about energy losses allowance. There's something wrong there, Chairperson. I don't know if this 70% allowance, what is that, including energy losses? We make a lost energy losses for 70%. We must split that. They don't talk to each other. We must just state exactly what did we do there, and then take it out of the revenue required, make an adjustment, reduce that 12.9%. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Thanks, Madam Asset. I take it that on 4.4.1.2, if you didn't get it clearly, that just separate that, rephrase it, and separate it accordingly when you're talking of the ESCOM bulk purchases, and then when you separate when you're dealing with energy losses, as well as the issue of the operational expenditure in its various components, particularly when one considers the issue of depreciation flowing separately. And I must echo my displeasure around the issue of no FBE. I think that the municipality needs to really take drastic action to put that in place. They must have that indigent register and effect it. These are some of the things that you need to emphasize to this municipality, as well as the issue that Madam Asset has raised. Please just make sure that you take care of those matters. These increases, they don't tell you with the challenges in the correction rate, as well as energy losses. And when it comes to energy losses, the actions that must be taken, they must speak to the energy losses. If it's issue of theft, then it also calls for tangible steps for the municipality to cooperate with law enforcement agencies to implement that. You may respond briefly on it, and then we can move to a decision. Over to you, sir.
Okay, no, thank you, Chair. In terms of the FBE, the municipality, Chair, I can see that your hand is up.
No, so sorry. In this case, I was trying to switch off the mic. But let me, since I've got this opportunity to say that and plead with the members of the public, some of whom they've been waiting to hear what is happening with their respective municipalities, to profusely apologize for the fact that due to circumstances beyond our control, we have to extend the meeting beyond the time of 6 p.m., which the meeting was scheduled to finish by. And considering the fact that we've got to deal with this matter to take it to its conclusive end, I actually plead for those just to continue listening to our live streaming, or rest assured that by the end of the technical day, so to say, or the day of today, would have finished. If it means pushing it until midnight, so shall it be. Again, apologies for us going way over our time limit in anticipation. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Chair, in terms of the FBE, ESCOM provide the FBE on behalf of the municipality. They've got an arrangement to offer FBE service. And then, Ms. Massetti, I take note of your guidance, especially in terms of the proposed increase. And also, but in terms of the energy losses was the issue that we wanted to show the budget, the bulk purchases, but we'll take your guidance that we're just gonna show how much the impact of the loss, like how much is the loss in terms of when you check it against the bulk purchase, and we'll enhance in line with the guidance that we receive from the members. Thank you.
Thank you. I take it that you will, this is going to be incorporated for enhancement, And I see Mr. Matebula with your hand raised. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, Chair, I just wanted to enhance to say, if you look at the performance of the municipality, it is struggling and it's getting worse. And I think as part of the recommendation, we had indicated that we would want a recovery plan on the losses. And I'm saying that we, as a regulator, I'm aware that we have got a dual role where we need to ensure that the customers are not overburdened, but we also need to talk to the sustainability of a licensed distributor. In this case, Chair, I would say that I would believe that there is an effort that the municipality will be expected to put to ensure that it reduces its losses. And that effort will obviously come at a cost. And that for me would be what I would attach to the proposed surplus, to say it be ring-fenced into driving projects that will reduce the losses. I just wanted to add that so that it can be part of the condition on the recommendation. Check. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hlula. Definitely is going to be part of that. And I must also say that there are other amendments or enhancements that need to be incorporated. We also talk of the further improvement of the framework from a point of view that I for example, in future, we should have a situation where before the year ends, one can be able to even make some changes if need be. Or these are the things we need to look at, and as well as we know the time pressure, the time challenges that we have had in terms of when we receive and all of that, all of those things, those improvements we've already spoken about, whether here in this platform or during our workshops, part of our continuous improvement exercise. So let's look at it in this context. I know that now I'm over the time, but if we can just keep pushing until we'll take a break around 7 o'clock to 7:30, and then we'll continue if we haven't finished. Over to you, Madam Aseti.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mine, I'm getting straight to the issues that I believe are important for the decision. Chairperson, first of all, I'm unease with regards to a situation where we are sitting at, the energy losses of over 70%. That on its own is not good. Secondly, what we did in these instances is that there was an adjustment that was very clear. We've communicated since we started this process that there will be downward adjustment. So we can't change those principles because they talk to efficiencies in line with our mandate, that we can only compensate for efficient cost and prudent cost and nothing else. So others then did mention in the submissions consistently that they have then allowed only 12% or whatever the number is based on the circumstances. We are not getting that in this specific municipality, despite the high energy losses. That for me is an inconsistent way of looking at this. And also that cost finds itself in the revenue and that higher tariff of 12.9, which I believe the municipality does not deserve it. It has to come down so that it can learn and can be incentive from its side. And then the second thing that makes this even worse, what we do, we are allowing the municipality on that higher amount, 9% of surplus that must just float in the hands of the municipality as a cash flow. That for me is problematic. So with that, I believe that it's very difficult to take a decision that already, as stated actually, that it does pertain costs that are inefficient. It is on paragraph 4.4.1.5, where it says that this municipality applied for a purchase bulk purchase expenditure, which is a cost amounting to 10 million, including energy losses allowance, representing 70% of total cost. That is an issue. So it goes on, Chairperson. I'm not going to read the others, but they're all there up to the way that the surplus has been calculated. On that basis, I'm worried. I don't want to delay. If the person that deals with this felt that it is not important to adjust those things despite what we've guided, that for me is problematic. You will see the surplus on paragraph 4.4.7, Chairperson, a surplus amount there that is mentioned, and then you compare it with what is on that table of the revenue. Those things for me are very problematic, and I'm uneasy then about this. And yet that you can see the statement that is contrary to what the person has done, stating that to ensure, without showing calculations, that the surplus is commensurate with the level of risk. Qualitative risk considerations, where are those risks? How are we seeing those risks? And then adjust accordingly. So I would like to leave it at that, but I'm definitely, it's just copy and paste of what the law says without applying it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Massetti. I take it that when you explain, because there are some of the things that we remain quiet about, and I just want to make this very clear even to the members of the public. Some of the things that, because they're already established principles and enhancement measures that are already put in place. One of such is that with anything above 12% energy efficiency, energy losses percentage is not included, and that is how we're dealing with that, as well as the NMD penalties or exceedances that are not included, as well as the bad debts above 5%. Not also forgetting the interest on ESCOM outstanding debts, with the understanding that these are within the municipality's purview to manage. That is the understanding. Can you talk just straight to the issues of efficiencies so we can then move to the voting on this submission? Please. Mr. Ramahulu?
Chair, I think we have noted that the municipality is not efficient, and we believe that this should be one of the requirements that we need to make sure that the municipality become.
Can you just speak to this thing straight, Mr. Mahulu, please? Let's just cooperate. Did you take away the inefficient aspects of this application? To remove the inefficiencies in the final determination? Yeah,
I did look at the efficiency that.
I'm not asking about looking, please, let's cooperate. I'm asking a straightforward question. Did you discount the inefficiencies?
I did discount some of them because initially the application was.
Can you just do me a favor then? Can you just take some time to look at them and then come back to us in terms of whether you have discounted them? Because I thought you had dealt with all the inefficiencies in as far as you can deem them to be inefficient. Like we have said the same for all these submissions. Please, colleagues, let's cooperate. Madam Massetti, I think that's my proposal, that maybe we give him a chance to look at the issues of, at least at the basic level, the issues that we have raised, and then bring it back to us. We don't have the luxury of time, and we need to be very much efficient. And I see the thumbs up. Just for completeness, members, can you raise your hand just to, if you support that we stand this one down? and get these efficiencies looked at. Thank you, Madam Massetti. Thank you, Advocate Chola, and thank you, Mr. Machola. Let's move on to the next one, which is Toropilo Municipality by Madam Tanda. Over to you, ma'am. Please, you've got the time allocated to you as shown in the timer. Just deal with these issues and zoom to the key areas to pay attention to.
Good evening, Chairperson.
Mr. Machola, I see your hand. Oh, it's now rescinded. Over to you, ma'am, please. Over to you.
Okay, good evening, Chairperson, the members and colleagues. Toropilo is situated in the Free State municipality. The municipality confirmed that they consulted their customers and the tariff were approved by the council, and NERSA as well have published the tariff application and the cost of supply report and the cost of supply tool. Municipalities applying for the 12% increase across all the municipality customer category. The financial and technical performance of the municipality actually have improved and is satisfactory, as there is the improvement from their bulk purchase, from their energy loss. From their energy loss, which were changed from a deficit to a surplus, and the energy loss that are within the required acceptable. Municipality, the only efficiency is that the municipality is owing ESCOM, and the ESCOM interest, which is 9 million, was not taken into account in calculating the municipality bulk purchase of 28.8, and this was verified against the ESCOM bulk invoices, the trial balance and audited financial statement for 2024-25 financial year. In calculating the ESCOM bulk, the asset value of the municipality is 137, and again verified against the submitted asset register. The municipality audited financial statement does not split the municipality infrastructure. The actual depreciation amounted to 2 million in the 2024-25 financial year, verified against submitted deform and trial balance. The projected depreciation for 2025-26 financial year is 2.1 million, and then in the 2026-27 financial year, the municipality budgeted for 2.2 million. The municipality applied for the surplus of 8.3 million using a 9% factor, excluding the ESCOM interest. The recommendation by the members in taking into account the write-up of the surplus will be taken into account before the RFD is published. The share cost, all the share costs were verified, were ring-fenced and strictly allocated to the electricity distribution function using the deform cost allocation and consistent with the costs of supply requirement verified against the TB and audited annual financial statement. The cross-subsidization, as guided by the members, the municipality will be advised to develop the subsidization of the framework and
Please move to the recommendation.
okay. I therefore recommend that the tariffs that are based on the cost of supply report are approved as recommended in the tariff analysis section for implementation by the municipality with effect from 1st of July 2026. The cost of supply report submitted by the municipality be noted. The municipality is required to submit a report accounting for all the costs that have been noted in the cost of supply study to enable the regulator to perform its independent verification by the 31st of January 2027. I thank you.
Thank you. I note that you also have to include the other enhancement as put forward by the members. I just got a little bit of concern, and I hope all the other presenters will address. It may be in the way you articulate things. It shouldn't be like the municipality just look at a figure and just pick and choose a figure that they would have in terms of the surplus. I think let's try to present that aspect properly. That is why I even made an example of the page 101 of 200, which is paragraph 4.18, in terms of looking at that and enhancing it accordingly to the peculiar situation of the municipality that we're presenting, so that we don't give an impression that it's just picking a number. Members, any questions, comments, guidance you want to provide to the team? I don't see any hand. Oh, here's a hand. Madam Aseti.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, at this time I want to start with I want to start off with the surplus. I'm sure you can actually see for yourself. How can we have a revenue requirement of, I think that the seniors here must really do work for us so that we don't point out things like this. Allowable revenue of 796 million. This is not a billion. 796 million. And then look at the surplus. Go to the surplus line item. The municipality is allowed, there's something wrong here. The municipality is allowed a surplus of 720 million. What exactly is this? That on its own is just wrong, Chairperson. There's something wrong with these figures. I don't know how it landed here. It tells.
Sorry, Madam Aseti. Sorry. I'm really professor. Apologize to interject. With that, just that alone, and the issues of the duplication of wages. I know I'm chairing. I must give members first opportunity to comment. Is there a need to proceed here or request that we give them an opportunity to enhance so you can proceed to others? But
it definitely has to go back, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we then get you to attend on this one? If you want, Madam Tanda, you want further guidance, maybe let me just give an opportunity, Madam Asset, just to complete it, just very brief, so that they can know what they need to attend to.
Okay, Chairperson, you will note that even on the table, there are empty numbers if you look at general expenses, right? So you will have number 4, there's nothing. So that on its own, it must go away, that row. And then there's other expenses that are allowed, which were only 21,000 in 2024. Then all of a sudden, they just jumped to 2.5, and we don't even know what are those other. It's just other. And then we make an allowance of 2.5. That allowance of 2.5, I suggest that it be disallowed. We can't allow such things, that kind of revenue for nothing, especially because you also give surplus. That on its own is an issue. I don't know about whether now some of these things, the protective clothing and what those ones, what do we call those? But we also need to check, hence I said typical cost items that must be taken into consideration. And then, Chairperson, again, if you look at the shared cost, you will see the line item of FBE paid to ESCOM. Then it's got an amount, yet we treated it differently in other submissions. So can we kindly look into that? And then, yeah, we picked up already, the Chairperson, on the issue of those double salaries, because this thing has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the understanding what those things represent, and therefore, and not extract them twice. So that in one line you will have 0, then you will get them in the other. But also look at, Chairperson, the maybe to combine, look at the amount there is probably going to take us to 3 million for salaries, 3.6 million for salaries. I wonder if for this specific municipality, that is enough. Those are the points, Chairperson, that I would like to the team to make sure that they get them right, and then tie it up on top. 5.7, they've got a wrong figure there. 5.7. Their figure for what is required, they said that it is 88 million. Again, you will see that it does not talk to that allowable revenue that is on the table. So there's a lot of things that they must look at here, Chair. Thank you very much. Those are the big ones that really will affect the decision. Thank you.
Thank you. I think even some of the figures, Madam Tanda, that you need to attend to. For example, if you look at the protective clothing, the rate of increase, and if you look at the figure, unless maybe under protective clothing, they also maybe include specialized pieces of equipment that are used. Other than that, it is just noticeable that something is not okay. So let's attend to those clearing issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. With Chair, 3 seconds. On paragraph 4.6, they must align that figure properly. We don't have a deficit on the table. Deficit of 26 is deficit of 24 on the table. So they must check those things. It's improper. And then 4.7, they must remove that amount and put it properly. It's a 5.7 billion. Again, it's not right. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. I think the issue of what is in the tables and vis-a-vis what is in the narrative, because in essence, I've said to you presenters, you can simply just go to the tables, because the narrative actually talks to the table, and make sure that the narrative and the tables, they talk to one another all the time. We'll then stand this one down. Please attend to it, and I implore you team members to also assist Madam Tanda in refining this submission. And best of luck with that effort. I will then jump to Mkhanyabute, Mr. Xolile Mahlangu.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry. I just made one procedural mistake. Members, if you may just indicate by show of hands that you support the referral to refer back the submission. Thank you, Advocate Tole, Mr. Machola, Madam Maseti. I to also support. Over to you then, Mr. Mahlangu, to deal with the Mkhanyabute municipality's application.
Thank you, Chair. In terms of the operational and financial performance of Mkhanyabute, its deficit worsened from the 23-24 FY to the 24-25 FY. And this high deficit is attributed to the low increase in revenue and the high increase in OPEX, with repairs and maintenance being the key driver of the OPEX. However, despite this deficit, the municipality continues to operate its electricity department optimally and maintains its ESCOM account. The energy losses improved in the 24-25 FY, even though they still remain high, as indicated in Table 3 of the RFD. The municipality indicated that these high energy losses are mainly attributable to the aging metering system, electricity meter tampering, aging distribution system, shortage of conventional meter readers, and financial and non-technical challenges within the municipality. The municipality has the potential to improve the deficit to a surplus of 4.29 if these energy losses are limited to 2%, and the deficit could potentially improve to a surplus of 7.18% if the energy losses are reduced to 6%. In terms of the bulk purchases, Chair, the municipality projected its bulk purchases for the 26-27 FY using the 25-26 FY ESCOM tariffs as a base and made the following assumptions: the sales growth of 0% and bulk purchase cost increases of 9.01% for the 26-27 FY. The municipalities accounts with ESCOM are up to date with no accidents recorded under the NMD for the 24-25 FY. The other operating expenses that are included in Table 5 of the RFD includes charges from other municipal departments, which have been checked to ensure that they relate only to the electricity function. Furthermore, Chair, all these expenses have been projected to grow in line with inflation. In terms of the surplus section, Chair, the municipality's revenue requirement includes a surplus, which is calculated using a surplus factor applied to operating expenditure, inclusive of bulk purchases for both the wires and retail components of the electricity business. This figure excludes inefficient or non-allowable costs, excluding interest on ESCOM related debt, but with penalties arising from NMT accidents of 80,060. Operational risk remain a concern for the municipality, particularly in relation to energy losses and the aging infrastructure. For the 26-27 FY, municipal energy losses are projected at 13%. In terms of public participation, Chair, the tariff application and its COS study were published on the NESA website and NESA social media accounts in line with regulatory requirements, and no stakeholder comments or objections were received. The municipality submitted its council resolution and proof of customer consultation together with its tariff application to NESA on 31 March 2026. There were no objections or stakeholder comments received on the tariff application by the municipality. As I conclude with the recommendation section, Chair, based on the revenue output of the COS model, a tariff increase of 20% is required by the municipality. However, the municipality has resolved to adjust tariff increases by 12.20% for domestic, commercial, and industrial customers. NESA's analysis also recommends an approval of tariffs by 12.20% across the different tariff categories, as indicated in the tariffs analysis section in the RFD. RSC is therefore requested to recommend the tariff detailed in the tariffs decision section of the RFD for implementation by the licensee with effect from 1 July 2026, subject to the conditions detailed in paragraph 2 on page 3 of page 21 of the RFD. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. You're just 10 seconds over your time limit, but it's appreciated to attempt. Members, any questions, comments, guidance to give to Mr. Masham? Madam Massetti, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think it's an issue of doing what we have told them to do. It is the same as the one that was presented by Amasei, because if you look at this one, they are not different. If you look at the energy losses, they are just above 70%, same as Nkandla, which was also above 70%. You also look at the increase that is requested is above 12%, same as Nkandla. And then the third point here is that this municipality demonstrates inefficient operations as evidenced by the increase in its expenditure. Previously, its expenses were around 43 million. Now, the expenses are sitting at least 2024 audited figures, 55 million. So that translates to an increase of 28% operation expenditure on top of all of these things that we are looking at. So that already shows that this municipality is not operating efficiently and is making losses, as you can see that obviously even up to this financial year that we are looking at, it will have losses of 2.5 million when there are these adjustments that are being done based on the sensitivity analysis. Then it means also we need to be careful about the what you call the surplus that we allow in situations like these. Starting off with those risks that we have indicated to its revenue protection, the non-payment, the bad debts, and the fact that if you look at the customer profile, 63% of the sales of these municipalities are for domestic customers. So you can just imagine if now we again increase by 12.2% of the tariff, that is going to worsen the situation of electricity theft, the energy losses, and all of those things, and the meter tampering and stuff like that. Is not going to improve the situation. If you look at the profile of the customers of this municipality, which already account for the majority of the electricity consumption or the sales for this particular municipality. So, Chair, I am also worried about this. Therefore, it means that for purposes of adjustment, we need to adjust for these losses, so that this municipality must also have an incentive to reduce its expenses. And look, for instance, what have we done here? Go to paragraph 4.7.1.16. Again, what the team has done in terms of the revenue of the surplus didn't consider what we have guided them on surplus that commensurate with the risk, so that you align it with the legislation. It just plugs 9% on the formula that you will find in paragraph 4.7.1.16, and then allowing that surplus margin of 9%. Kodwa, this is the municipality that operates at a loss. The other thing, Chairperson, the NMD. So where are all of these? Because we know that it incurs that NMD penalty. So where are all of these downward adjustments done on the revenue, so that we can then say, like, we can reduce from that 12% to a lower amount. The last point, Chair, if you can indulge me, just look at paragraph 5.6. You will see paragraph 5.6 that even that cost of supply study with a municipality that operates like this is not an efficient licensee. It then looks at an increase of 126.6% cost of supply study. Chairperson, this thing is not right. That study, it needs to be dealt with, because how do you deal with the right costs? That must be recovered. So I would like to pack it there, but it's not looking good. I would say let's treat it the same way that we treated Nkandla on this aspect. Thanks.
Thanks, Madam Massetti. I noted the timer there, but I must say that let's not make a process that is relatively understood, make it more complicated, presenters. You've got inefficient, or you've got inefficiencies. Just clarify how we have discounted those inefficiencies, what it was and how it came to be. For example, the member was alluding to 5.6, but you then indicate that there was a mitigation of the impact on customers to reduce it to 12.2. Could have been this amount, but even that amount needs to be interrogated. But I take it that we have also a process in place to say, post this process, we are going to ensure that we do the requisite verification, further verification, and auditing. But talk to the issues of how you have dealt with the discounting of inefficiencies. And then we decide. If you have not done that, unfortunately, we have to stand this one down and give you a chance to do that. I see Mr. Majola, and you can respond, sir. Over to you, Mulu.
Thank you, Chair. For me, the question I have for clarity, it's gonna be on the surplus itself. For them, I can see they're saying they've applied a surplus margin of 9%. And we can see on the actual table that the surplus is, I think, 2.5 million. So if they can just explain how they arrived at the surplus, given everything that is happening in the municipality. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Mr. Machola. Presenters, I hope you can see how much you are just harping on the same issues over and over again. Please just address those things proactively. Over to you, Mr. Mahlan.
Thanks, Chair. No, the observations made by the members are repeatable, Chair. Safe to say, we will enhance the submission by applying the adjustment tool and clearly articulating and highlighting where these adjustments have been made. I must further hasten to add, Chair, that the cost reflectivity percentage of 123 was actually further reduced from 253% after engagement with the municipality. And it's abundantly clear that further interrogation needs to be applied on the numbers. And then we'll further, in our engagement with the municipality and also in our technical analysis, take into account the comment made by Mr. Machola. And I'm inclined then, Chair, to support the proposal. I know we've not reached the recommendation stage, but if members feel strongly about standing down the submission, I'm amenable to that directive. I'll park here for now, Chair.
Thank you. I think, Mr. Mahlan, if we may just understand that this is referred back for immediate enhancement in line with what the meeting has directed, and that it joins the end of the queue, because we must deal with all of this in this session. Thank you for that understanding, and I take it that other team members will assist you excuse me, in addressing that. Without much ado, colleagues, if you just then permit me, that we've come to the end of this batch, but the fact of the matter is that we have not dealt with it because there are some items that have been referred back. So allow me to just go to the city of Tshwane as part of batch 5. At Madam Kopo to present to us, then we may break after that for the 7 o'clock time, the way we can then take a break and rejoin it at 7:30, if you allow it. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Machola, I see you. I note your hand is up.
Yes, Chair. I think we need to take a vote that the previous submission, we are going to let them to go and resharpen their pencils and then resubmit.
Yes, this is a stance that they're joining the end of the queue in this session and not some other time. Are you good with that, sir?
Yes, I'm good. I thought we were going to vote because that's what we've been doing for all the others that we were going to be referring back. That there was a vote by members that we vote that we stand it down and it joins the end of the queue. I think that's
okay. Thank you. So I note the other issue of voting. By show of hands, members, if you support that this be referred back and joins the end of the queue. Thank you, Mr. Machola, Madam Maseti, Advocate Tole. I also support. That then concludes this matter and takes us to the City of Tshwane, which is part of page 5. We're going to have under page 5, City of Tshwane by Madam Tabisa Kopo, then Edumbe Municipality by Mr. Tabo Shabalala, and then Kaima Municipality by Lindo Mkhize, and then Siyancuma Municipality by Lehuma Masige, and Siyathemba Municipality by Lindo Mkhize. So I just hope this one you are going to help us to actually Ncuma and Themba at the end. Over to you, Madam Cook.
Thank you, Chairperson. The City of Tshwane submitted an existing cost of supply study with the costs that were adjusted in line with the Section 18.7 of the NERSA framework, whereby the bulk purchases were increased by 9%, OPEX inflated with CPI-linked increases. Chairperson, all the costs that were deemed inefficient and not prudently incurred were not allowed in this. Sorry, Chairperson. And then the city recorded a reduced surplus, decreasing from 4.25% to 2.76%. Energy losses increased from 9.9% to 21%. The municipality indicated issues of tampering, theft, and vandalism, and has submitted a plan on how to reduce such high energy losses. When looking at the sensitivity analysis, if losses were kept at 12%, the city would have increased its revenue by 1 billion, increasing the surplus by 9.7%. And then when you look at the revenue at 6% kept losses, the revenue would have increased it by 2 billion, showing an improved higher surplus of 13.78%. Chairperson, when we look at the revenue requirement, which is on page 20, the city applied for a revenue requirement of 22 billion, but the city paid 222 million to Eskom for interest incurred. And then because of the high energy losses of around 1.4 billion, those have been disallowed. The revenue from now reduces from 22 billion to 20 billion. The adjustments that adjusting the increase from 10.08% to 10%. And then, Chairperson, when deducting the difference between what has been applied for and what has been adjusted, then we see that there's a further reduction of 0.9%, leading to an average increase of 9.18% for the municipality. However, the city has proposed a percentage increase of 8.8% for the financial year 24-25 financial year. This is recommended for approval, Chairperson, as indicated in the tariffs of the municipality. With regards to the public participation, NERSA undertook its own public participation, and the city did so as well. However, we received one comment from IRASA, which is the Electricity Resellers of South Africa. Their concerns, Chairperson, just to summarize them, it's more likely on the bulk, on the structure of the tariffs that are charged by Tshwane that make them not to recover their revenue based on the costs of supplying their customers. They argue that the monthly fixed charges should be removed because it does not mirror, they do not mirror the tariffs that they charge to the end user tariffs, which are domestic customers, because the domestic customers that are supplied by Tshwane do not have a basic charge. And the resellers need to mirror the tariffs that are charged by Tshwane, because the customers should not be worse off because they are supplied by resellers. And then, Chairperson, with the analysis of the stakeholders' comments, as much as the Municipal Systems Act of 32, Section 74 of the Local Government Municipal Systems Act of 2000 sets out legal requirement for municipal tariff policy, indicating that the principles of cost reflectivity should be noted by the municipality, by all municipalities. Further enhancements on this matter, Chairperson, I will request Advocate Murati to talk to this. And then with regards to the tariffs that are proposed, an increase of 8.8% has been recommended for approval. but it is, I would like members to also note that the city has done a significant reduction in the fixed charges for non-domestic customers by increasing by having higher increases on the energy charges and reducing the basic charges, especially for the non-domestic customers. The revised structure lowers fixed monthly burden for lower usage customers and shifts more recovery on the energy-based billing, making the tariffs more responsive to actual consumption. Chairperson, I would like to read the recommendations on page 20, which state as follows.
Gentlemen, it seems to have lost you.
Yes, I'm still here, Chairperson. It's just that.
Just read the recommendations, please. You are muted, Madam Kopo. Just read the recommendations for us.
Oh, sorry, Chairperson. The recommendation state as follows. The tariffs that are based on the cost of supply report are approved are recommended in as per the tariff analysis section, implementable by the municipality with effect from 1st July 2026. The COS report submitted by the municipality be noted. The municipality is required to submit a reported account accounting for all the costs that have been noted in the COS study to enable the regulator to perform its independent verification process by 31st January 2027. The municipality is required to submit quarterly report on efficiency improved measures taken to reduce high energy losses and the deficit for the regulator to monitor implementation thereof by 30 September 2026. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Kopo. I take it that when it comes to the issue of public consultation by, especially the comments by IRASA, they are of a nature that they need also continual engagement with the municipality, and that you see to it that, as NERSA, that such engagement do take place to properly cover all the issues, as they are not of a nature that can be covered as an event, but as a process. Mr. Murati, you want to weigh in as was put forth by Madam Kopo? Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Chairperson. Probably on a very limited scope, that the existing legal framework, it's structured in a manner that it deals with two sets of persons, which is the licensee, which the provisions of ERA talks to, and also the customers, which are the end users. And resellers comes in the middle of the equation. And policy position 43 talks to the limitations that the resellers have, that they need not to put the customers in a worst of position. And that provision was translated into the Electricity Regulation Act, which then requires that the resellers must enter into a service, an SDA, with the distributor, wherein the terms and conditions of such must be approved by the regulator. And in this regard, such hasn't taken place, and the scope of intervention of the regulator to address the issue becomes limited without that compliance with the provisions between the reseller and the distributor. But one part of the legal principle is that the profiteering by resellers is discouraged because of the effect that it may have, and also the disruption to the regulatory decorum of approving municipal tariffs, in that those that are customers of the resellers might end up in a worst of case on a service that the distributor is licensed to carry out. So the engagement that Chair are guiding in terms of trying to fast track the guidelines, the revision of the guidelines, would be an exercise that we would undertake. But in terms of compelling the city to now cater for the resellers, it becomes a very limited scope on the side of the regulator to can intervene. That's my submission, Chair.
Thank you very much for the clarification, Mr. Murati. Members, any questions, comments, guidance? I see Advocate Chole and then Madam Maseti in that order. Over to you, please.
Chairperson, I think for me it's an issue of enhancements again, hoping on the salaries line items, and maybe if the team, when they present in the next applications, they can just give an indication of the breakdown, because if you look at this one, the salaries and allowances, salaries, wages, and whatever line items are repeated but with different amounts. And if they can indicate to say the salary allowance line 1 covers this, salary, wages, and allowance line 4 covers this, I think that will help us when they present that, so that we don't repeat the need for the explanation, because now with this one, the amounts are different. But as I said, this is a point of enhancements in the verbal presentation that the team needs to make. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. I think you rightly point out that matter, and please, the next presenter has to do the same. Over to Madam Maseti.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you to Ms. Ngopo. Ms. Ngopo, there is a lot of, I think these things are, they're everywhere to be seen. The outages that take long in all the areas of Tshwane, actually the substations and the cable theft and all of those kind of things, and then the issue of the meters and so there's a lot of these things that the municipality should be doing to try and protect, firstly, its infrastructure, secondly, to protect its revenue. Those are the requirements for the municipality. That's the first thing, and then the second thing is the adjustment that you have made, given the fact that the what you call this, the losses are higher than that cap that we have all used of 12%. So I just wanted to understand that, and from that revenue of 21 billion that is required, how much of it? I can't see the other things, Chairperson, here. The table I'm trying to read, to point out, I honestly cannot see. But also just to mention a figure of a surplus, like 1 billion, Chairperson, that we can't approve. I understand that there's 21 billion that is required, but just look at that, look at the interest, and look what has been allowed and what has not been allowed. You will see that some of the things we can't justify. Some of them are the very same things that we spoke about, Chair. If you look at the other interest payable, I think this is a new item, Chair. I can't see the print is very, very small, even when I try to extend it. In fact, the plus is not even showing anymore now. So there's that item, Chair, of other interest. What are these other interests that we have allowed here? I suggest that we remove them, because we don't know what they are and we should not be including them. That amount of 1 billion just as a surplus on a municipality like this, and the outages and all of that, I don't understand what they are for, because section 18.7, Chair, my apologies, Chairperson, with the time, is something that it says that if there are maintenance, repair and maintenance, there must be plans for that if we give regard to section 18.7. Same with the plans for CAPEX. So there's a number of those items. I'm not going to waste time, Chairperson. You can see commission paid and all of those things. I know that is a zero, that one, but look at the other items that we've mentioned previously. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Maseti. I think, Madam Ngopo, it's going to be important for you to, I wouldn't necessarily go for the removal of these items, but more about further clarifying what is contained therein, and try to delineate them into sub items so that it is clear that you are efficient. At the same time, I'm concerned about we don't want double dipping by the municipality, but at the same time, we also don't want double jeopardy for them. That they are not efficient, that they are now taking measures to address that. I think when it comes to this municipality, some of the things are out there in the papers, and some of thefts that are at another level that you have also seen regarding theft at substations and all of that. Now, in addressing those things, it needs also money to address them. So it's a question of having those initiatives, talking to the losses that you are grappling with. So please, if you may just respond holistically on these matters as already guided. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson. With regards to the energy losses, Chairperson, we've disallowed an amount of 1.4 billion as indicated by the scenarios that kept the energy losses to 12%. And then all these other costs that have been identified, Chairperson, I will request the municipality for the breakdown so that we get a clear indication of which cost refers to what, especially the one that says now that has been indicated by Ms. Maset on the other interest payable. We'll look into that, Chairperson, and if need be, we will remove the costs that are not supposed to be aligned to the servicing of the electricity department by doing the verification and auditing of the figures when this municipality submits its audited annual financial statement, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thanks, Madam Kopo. I think it's very important, really, guys, to drill down on these figures. And as already guided by the meeting, as well as emphasized by the CEO, the salaries and allowance, salaries, wages and allowance, just make it clear as to what that entails. I know you get it from the municipality, but make it clear for the reader here to understand what this thing is all about. Members, subject to those enhancements that needs to be done, taking into consideration what the members have said, if we may just indicate by show of hands that we support this recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Machola. Thank you, Madam CEO. Madam Masetti.
Chairperson, I would like to dissent on this one, reason being that there will be an inconsistent decision, because when we deal with other revenues, we have disallowed all of them consistently with all other municipalities. But with the Tshwane, we have not disallowed other revenues. So it will be an inconsistent decisions that are made in one meeting, for instance, and even in the previous meetings. So the city asked for over 1 billion, and then we have only disallowed about 500 or so million. So that's just one example, apart from the other things. So that tells us that there will be a change in the revenue required, change in the amount. 21 billion that is requested. And if there are any adjustment that Ms. Nkopo says she has done, they are not speaking to that 21 billion that was requested, because we are still providing that 21 billion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Just want to get clarity. Madam Nkopo, my understanding that when I looked at the figure being negative there, I thought the other revenues are deducted from the formula. Am I reading it wrong?
No, Chairperson, thank you. You're not reading it wrong, Chairperson. The municipality applied for a revenue requirement of 22 billion, but it's awarded a revenue of around 20 billion with the adjustment that have been done on the interest paid to ESCOM and the cost of the energy losses.
And the removal of other revenues. Madam Masetti, that response, does it persuade you to support?
Thanks, Chairperson. If you tie it up, it wouldn't. For the simple reason, Chair, if you look at just the inconsistency of the decision, other revenues, just go to that one. Other revenues, we have
Yes, I'm
allowed.
there.
Yes, Chair. Yet with the others, if just look at the first figure there to how much it was, and then look at the second of the next column, and then you look at the third column. So we did not allow that entire figure, but what we have been doing all along since we started, we have not allowed even, even a rent for that line item. For instance, I'm just making an example before going to surplus, looking at the amount of surplus.
I just want to make sure, sorry that, Madam, I just want to make sure that we're talking the same language here. Let's differ when really what we're differing about is clearly understood. My understanding is that you've got a negative figure here, meaning that these other revenues are deducted and not included, like we've done with the rest. That is my understanding here. This is why I asked Madam Kopo. So if you understand them to be deducted, will you then be persuaded to support the recommendation subject to the other improvements that you have already highlighted as well?
You see where the adjustment has been done, Chair. Look at the next column where it says NERSA's adjustment, and that's how they've been doing it. NERSA's adjustment, right? I can't see the other thing because I don't know what's going on here, considering the inefficiencies. Yeah, it says NERSA's adjustment considering inefficiencies. You will see that the adjustment was done in respect of, I think it's I can't read that, but is that figure there? I suppose it's energy losses. I can't see that. That's the amount that has been adjusted downwards. And then the next that has been adjusted, they can read the figure is down there, is 2 point whatever. Then if you go to
okay,
I think on other revenues, you will see, Chairperson, that there are no adjustments that were done when you come to that, so that we can then add them up and then come to the revenue amount.
Okay, no, because I see what you're saying, but my understanding was that it's the whole figure that get reduced without being adjusted, but deducted as a negative figure. That is how we've been doing it. This is my understanding. But having tried to pursue the issue of consensus, will then move to the issue of I would stand with the majority vote in this instance. But that is how I looked at it. Thank you. Then I think this then addresses the issue of Tshwane Municipality. We conclude on that note. The issue is dispensed with, and Madam Kopo, please do ensure that you follow up on all the recommendations that members have put forth in terms of enhancing, as well as follow up, especially the issue between the resellers and the municipality. Having said that, we then take a break until 22:08, if that's fine with you. By show of hands, members, if you're fine with it, thumbs up. Thank you. Let's take a break, and Madam Lilana Jansen van Vieren, if you can just help with that, just to disconnect us and hit the pause. I would like also to take the members of to let the members of the public know that we are just taking a break, body break,